So I am back with another review. Today's movie being The Lovebirds, a new Netflix original. Lovebirds is about a couple that experience a defining moment in their relationship when they are involved with a murder mystery. Instead of going to the police, they try and solve the murder for themselves. So Lovebirds stars Issa and Kumail Nanjiana. Both have only really been known for kind of side roles in movies or TV shows. But in this movie, they have been given the freedom of the two lead roles. And honestly, they take that chance and do their best with it. And those two just don't disappoint in this movie. I personally think they're the best thing about this movie, just their chemistry together. They fully go for it, and it's very entertaining to see. Not only the relationship between the two in this movie, but also just their chemistry as actors is very, very good. And really, this film wouldn't have been anything without them. All the humour between them actually felt quite natural, which is the best kind of humour in my opinion. It makes it much easier to follow, and us as viewers can enjoy it more because it doesn't feel as forced or unnatural. As I said, that both these lead actors have only been known to play side characters. I actually hadn't seen Issa in anything besides this, but Kumail Nanjiani I'd seen in a few things I found out. I remember him from Central Intelligence, I remember him from Adventure Time, but that was his voice acting, not physical acting. But then I saw some things that he'd been in which I don't actually remember him from, either because I just hadn't seen it in a while, or just straight up didn't remember him. Like, apparently he was in the X-Files. I haven't seen that for a few years, but I don't really recall him being in it, so I'm guessing he was in like one of those. He's one of the people in like a one-off episode, and therefore isn't involved in anything more, just that one episode. I was a big fan of the movie Game Night, which came out a few years ago. It felt very unique in terms of comedies. It didn't feel like just a normal one. It had this nice twist on it. I feel like this is what this movie is trying to set out to be like. It does have some similar factors to Game Night, where it's people going out of their comfort zone, something they're not used to, which lends for a fun story. So I was just happy to see something else similar to Game Night. Now, this movie isn't without its cons, and I think where I said it's similar to Game Night, it doesn't live up to it. The story was very predictable, and I felt like they could have gone down a few roads, but they went down some weirder paths just to get a cheap laugh, maybe. There was that torture scene in the barn, and then like later on in the movie there's this whole weird cult thing which lasts only a few minutes and didn't really have any end to it, which was, I felt really weird, especially that cult thing. Like, they were in there, it was like this big climax, and then bam, nothing happened with it. It was just, it felt very out of place. As I said, this movie is quite predictable, but at times you may expect this from a comedy like this, but it's very far-fetched. I'm hoping I can like look past that, as it's not intending to be like an Oscar winner. But some of the things that happen, like with the initial murder that happens, they could have easily gone to the police and just sorted things out. But they went on the run, which made them look very suspicious, which I know is the whole point of the story, but it just felt they looked past a very simple concept, which would have been fine. And I mentioned it earlier on in the film, Anna Camp. I think her first name's Anna. I hope I got that right, so this isn't as embarrassing. But although she's only in it for a few minutes, maybe like 20 minutes tops, I don't think this was the right kind of role for her. I've seen her in Pitch Perfect. She's the bossy one, and she goes on to be this camp leader in the second one, I believe. But this kind of role was so out of place for her, especially with that accent she did. It was a bad accent, I must admit, so it could have done better with the casting there. I don't have anything against her, I just felt like this wasn't her type of role. Because in Pitch Perfect you see her as the bossy one, but you wouldn't see her to the point where she'd actually torture people with grease. And although I have praised the comedy between Issa and Kumail Nanjiani. I don't think I got that name wrong once so far, which is good. But yeah, their comedy and chemistry between each other is good, but sometimes it has some of that comedy where it's two people arguing and not realizing the things around them that are happening, and I really don't find that funny. I see it a lot in Bad Boys, and it doesn't make me laugh. I know it makes some people laugh. For me personally, it's not funny. Also, just some things are just cringy and aren't funny. Like, the comedy in this film was really hit or miss. Like, sometimes some of the things that I said was just so out of the blue and random, and it just got a laugh out of me. But some of it was like, move on please. But yeah, that's all really I had to say about this movie. Anyway, those are my final thoughts on that movie. I'll now give my kind of final verdict and rating on it. So overall, Lovebirds was pretty enjoyable, but as I said, it's not going to win any Oscars, and it wasn't intended to be. It was originally meant to be released in cinemas by Paramount, I believe, but because of this whole pandemic with the coronavirus, I think it was bought by Netflix and then streamed on Netflix. I think it was yesterday it came out. To be honest, I don't think this film would have been that successful in cinema. I can't imagine many people buying to go see it. Maybe to see Kumail Nanjiani, who is going to be in the upcoming Marvel movie, The Eternals. I was actually a big fan of the two main leads in this movie, but in terms of rating, I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10, and if I would recommend watching, it's one of those films where it's like a late night comedy where, say you're with a friend or by yourself, and it's late at night and you're looking to fall asleep to a movie. That might be a good one to fall asleep to. Or just, yeah, if you're with friends and want a cheap laugh or something, it would be good for that. But in terms of finding a good movie to watch by yourself, there's a lot of better options. You don't really need to watch it. But thank you for watching. I would really appreciate if you showed me your support and liked this video, and if you haven't already, subscribe. And let me know in the comments what you thought of the Lovebirds, and I will reply to every comment. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.